Hey everyone, David Markland here. Clearly, Makeven here was not hired today, so we're going to get to it. Tonight, we've got a very special live stream for you, talking all about this year's new Delusion. Before we get to that, just a quick plug. As you know, Midsummer Scream is not happening this year again, but that's not slowing us down. We have a massive pop-up convention, whatever you're going to call it, called Midsummer Scream presents Awaken the Spirits, coming August 14th and 15th. Tickets are now on sale. And one of the hallmarks of that event is always talking about everything awesome coming to Southern California for the Halloween season. On Saturday, August 14th, we will have Delusion along with LA Haunted Hayride, which are now part of 13th Floor Entertainment, both on stage talking more about what they have planned for the year. Last time Hayride was doing a presentation with us at Midsummer Scream, everybody in the audience got a free ticket. I'm not saying they're going to do that again this year, but they tend to do cool stuff for people who come and check out their talk. So that's it for my plugging right now. Again, midsummerscream.org. Grab your tickets. I'm going to bring in here Rick West, though, who will be talking with Jon Braver. How's it going, Rick?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Rick West, our creative director. What's up?
It's just another day in kind of almost, we pray, post-COVID paradise. So we're going to knock on wood and talk about things that we're really excited about happening.
Yeah. I know you didn't see it yet because I got the sneak peek earlier, but we're going to be debuting the trailer tonight for this year's Delusion. It's pretty awesome. And
I'm pretty excited. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. And given the track record that Delusion has, not surprised, but we'll be very excited to see how awesome it is.
Very cool. Well, without further ado, I want to say hi to him too. And then what I'll do is bring on Jon Braver, who's the creator of Delusion. And then I'll disappear and let you grill him for a while.
All righty.
And here he is, Jon Braver.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
There he is.
Great. It's going great. You guys are, hair and makeup for me too. Didn't show up to both of us.
I need your hairstylist.
Yeah,
that would solve everything.
Blinding you guys yet? No.
It's giving me light because I've got bad light on my place, but Rick's got better lighting. So
yeah, Rick, you look good, man. I haven't seen you in a long time.
It's so hard to be beautiful, but one of us has to be. So
because you.
there's about 100 people that just went, yeah, next click. So no, but it's great to see you always, brother.
All right, guys. Well, have fun talking about Delusion. I'll disappear here, but I'll see. You got a question for me?
Don't leave me alone with him.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, if I'll keep an eye on things.
Let's have our bro fest right now.
If it goes crazy, I will hop back in. But have fun, and I will see you at Delusion.
Okay, brother. Thanks.
Awesome, dude. Jon. So, dude, happy past COVID.
Yeah, that's right. We're getting out of this.
I'm afraid to say that though, because every time I turn on the TV, it's like, well, there's the lambda version of and it's like, isn't that from Revenge of the Nerds? It's like they're coming up with movie titles now for COVID.
That's the best one. That's the best one. Did they not do it because they don't want to attribute it to certain countries? Now they're giving it names. They're going through the alphabet.
So maybe that only happens to nerds then for the lambda version, which means we're all in trouble. But but seriously, it's really good to see you. And it's crazy because it feels with this giant time suck that we all experienced that we've literally gone through this wormhole of existence in time and space, and an entire year and a half has literally been swallowed whole, and we haven't experienced anything. The last time I saw you was when you unveiled the Blue Blade, and wow. That seems like a lifetime ago now, man, right?
Unreal. Yeah, I know. It's incredible to see the transformation of people as well, too, the evolution of people over this time. And actually, if you think about it, it's sort of like pandemic light we've been going through, but it still had such an effect on people's psyche. And that's really driven a lot of this. I always tell people this is a mission now for me. It's we got to get people back together, and we could play a little small part in that whole thing with what we're doing. So it's to me it's so important for us to just get back together and get out of this. And so I'm ready. I'm just rip the mat
right
off. I'm done.
We all are, right? So I'm guessing half the people that are watching tonight have no clue who you are, what Delusion is, and half the other people are the hardcore fans that have missed you and are very aware of the legacy of Delusion. So let's indulge both. tonight, and let's back up real quick and just basically give the kids at home your background with Hollywood and entertainment in general, kind of how Delusion came about, what Delusion is, and just a quick evolution of evolution over the years here in Los Angeles.
Okay. Well, I will start out by saying that I'm still a kid. I'm like this kid trapped in an adult body, and it's like taking people on these adventures has been something that I've been doing since I was a child, and now I'm doing it in this professional way. I've been doing it since 2011. I basically started in Chicago. If you want to backtrack way back, I was big into role-playing games, like a lot of kids at that time. So I was playing old school games where you had your avatar and you'd be going through these mostly medieval adventures, and then I would sort of take these adventures and then create them in real life as best I can for my friends at a camp that I used to work at and go to, or just in the local neighborhood. And so it all started actually the very first year. It's an interesting story. I was watching, I remember this vividly. I was watching Aliens, and I was like, God, if I can create something that is as visceral as that and bring it into the real world, like put a nice cool horror spin on it too. Not that, Aliens is obviously pretty horrific, but write a really cool old school disturbing story in my parents' house. So I took over their house. I kicked them out, threw them into a hotel room, and I wrote a play basically that moved throughout the entire house. That was the very first one. It was 1998. So we invited all these people from Chicagoland area, and they lined up in our streets, and all these strangers started coming into my parents' house and going through this. I think it was like a 12-minute play. So I hired friends to act in it and to play little parts in it. And there was always the creature at the end in the basement that would that would just destroy someone. So that was right after that one. I remember seeing people's faces coming out of it, and that was so intoxicating. I was like, this is it. This is what I got to do. And so I was doing that along with like studying music, and which has nothing to do with this, but actually not nothing, but I was studying music in Chicago, and I graduated with a degree in music business and guitar. And during that time, I was a gymnastics coach, and I was getting big into stunt work, and I discovered Jackie Chan. And I decided, you know what? Oh my God, people can get paid to actually do stunt work. So I moved to Los Angeles right after I graduated with a music degree, and I decided I'm going to become a stuntman. So my parents were super excited about that. And I showed up in LA. I picked the guy's name out of the Mask of Zorro movie, and I said, a stunt guy, and I said, I'm going to meet this guy. I met the guy 6 months later. He gave me my first job in a movie. And since then, I've been doing like film and television, stunt work, stunt coordinating, and all these different movies and television for years. But that haunted play thing from the past was always gnawing at me. And so in 2011, I decided, you know what, I got to do this thing. So I got together my friends from the film world, and we treated this like a movie. We went out, we got a venue. We, in the West Adams district, it was this creepy old mansion. Went in, wrote a play just like I did back in my parents' house, but I brought it up to a level 1,000. And there was no such thing as sort of interactive theater. The previous one was Tamara back like years and years ago in LA. And the only other thing was Sleep No More in the East Coast. So we did it for 10 nights where the audience played parts in the story. They were actually engaged I wrote them into the script. And it was terrifying. We ran for 11 nights, and it exploded. It exploded in LA. And then I remember Neil Patrick Harris called me on like one of the last nights. He came to the show. He's like, dude, this is insane. This is so unreal. We got to do something together. So in 2012, we did a sequel to it. And that's when it sort of just blew up, man. So I feel like I'm talking a lot right now. Do you want to jump in?
No, you're doing great. This is great. And it's a great refresher course for me also. Because I mean, I met you at the very beginning when you started doing Delusion here. And it's been downhill ever since. Kidding. But
so true.
We're going to catch on real quick that like we've got
another interviewer. Is there anybody else in there?
No, but anyway, so no, it's a great refresher course. So then quickly after, and I will, I got to agree, and I got to say right now, for anybody that hasn't yet experienced Delusion, and as somebody that has experienced all the Delusion shows, plus you referenced Sleep No More in New York, I saw that, and I got to tell you, all of the iterations of Delusion, in my opinion, have been far more engaging than Sleep No More. Not to badmouth Sleep No More, because it's epic, of course, but what you do and what you've created is just so great and so special, and really kind of like scratches that itch of horror and scary and macabre. So
I appreciate that.
Going a little bit more into it, so after the first year, once Harris called you and things kind of blew up, what followed after that?
Then was like Life's Calling. It was a major shift. I was kind of doing a little bit less film work and focused more on this thing that was connecting with people in a way that I've never seen. Yeah. So we had our crew together and we started picking up all these different site-specific venues. Like 2013, we decided to take over an old church in Silver Lake. That was a fucking nightmare. So that one destroyed me. I think every one of these destroys me a little bit more, but it's worth it. It's worth it. 2013, it was a great venue. It was an amazing venue in Silver Lake. And but we're right in the middle of a neighborhood that didn't want us there. But we can forget about all that boring stuff. So we took over a church, wrote a play called Mask of Mortality. And then after that, Neil moved to New York, and Neil got really busy with everything. He does everything. And so we just kind of, he helped get us going, and then we took off. So 2013 was that. 2014, we did a show called Lies Within in the West Adams district. That was a very cool show, and we could only run that for a certain amount of time as well too. And then we started doing, again, as I'm going through these, I'll just tell you, like Delusion, there's a Delusion universe of stories. They're sort of loosely connected, sometimes more directly, and sometimes just, but at the end of the day, they're standalone stories. You don't have to have seen the other ones, just like other movies. So we did 2014, and then skip 2015 to 2016, His Crimson Queen, which is a vampire story. And every year, we'll probably get into this later, but I just sort of get these feelings of what I want to do in the next year, and they stay with me, and I have to do them. I just have to get it out of me, like exercise it. So I knew that I wanted to do like an Interview the Vampire style story. Yeah. So we did that, His Crimson Queen. That was super fun. And then we took off 2017. When I say we take off, it's the venue thing. It's very hard to find venues. So some years it works out, some years it doesn't. And then 2018 came around. I was like, I'm going to go full Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm going to go a little bit away from the horror genre and get my Indiana Jones fix. So we did this thing called The Blue Blade, which was Indiana Jones meets Blade Runner. And the audience went through time all the way back to the Mayan era. We built caves and jungles. Yep. It was insane. So we thrive ourselves in incredible otherworldly production design. It's by Kevin Williams, who's like a magician in this world. It's like nothing else, like placing yourself inside of a movie. So Blue Blade. And then all of a sudden, COVID, and I decided, but early on, I decided I'm just like any other Delusion fan. Like I had this feeling after Blue Blade, I was like, we got to go back to horror. We got to do something terrifying again. So I set out for this year's play to make it like the scariest play I've written, and a little less dialogue too, because I can get a little diatribe with some of.
No,
oh, come on,
not you. So I love right now constantly. No, it's good. I love Crimson Queen so much, and my favorite is Lies Within. I loved just being a writer. I love Lies Within. It's so good. They're all good, right? So it's like pick your favorite child.
What was your least?
My least favorite? Boy,
Don't answer that.
No, I don't know. Seriously, I don't know that I have one, because literally, even though you use the same template of story-driven, rich characters, live action, and really great live special effects in an actual location, I would say that even though that template kind of stays, that's obviously the Delusion brand, they're all very different, right? Yeah. So you can say, well, I like pizza. And it's like there's so many different flavors of pizza that are all different, right? Mm-hmm. So, it's basically, I don't have a least favorite that you did. Really, I don't. I'm not blowing smoke.
No,
it's
but
really good. What does set you apart though from other attractions that are similar to, and even finding an attraction that's similar to this is very hard. I think the closest to would be like a Sleep No More or Then She Fell out of New York for people that have seen those things. But I think that a lot of what sets it aside is how physically demanding it is. Not necessarily on the participants, although that happens, but also on the staff, on your actors. You go into an entirely different level of presentation with your own stunts because of your own background. And that's always become kind of like the hallmark for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, from 2012, we did a lot of stunts, and every year we incorporate some kind of stunts. But I always say that, it's story driven, so it's not just a spectacle. It has to work within the story. So
yes,
it has to be organic. We have some stunts at this show coming up, just because it's required and it's necessary, and it's not just for show. Yeah.
Now I love you said that you're kind of going back to your horror roots with Reaper, and I'm just I don't know how much we want to talk about story or give anything away quite yet. I know you're joining us on stage on the 14th in Pasadena to talk about things. What can you tell us tonight as far as like your return to your horror roots? Like give us just a little taste of what you really want out of this year.
Yeah. Well, let's just say it started off with probably what I believe to be the best Delusion venue yet, what we have this year. This is a place that every show, every venue plays a part in the story, is a character in the story. This one is pretty significant. There are a lot of very interesting surprises here or there, but it just, as I was looking at this place, the story, I've never written a script this fast. It just came through. It came out pretty quick, this one. I was very determined to, as I said before, to make this a terrifying show. Wonderfully terrifying. Everybody should still come to it. Don't be too scared. But I think getting back to what made Delusion is very important. Over the years, I was seeing, not to be negative about it, but I was seeing a bit of a departure in my own mind about wanting to evolve and do this in different ways, and possibly different genres. But after Blue Blade, I just realized, especially during the magic season of fall, it's like you have to stay, haunted. It's what people love. It's what I love. Like, I love that season more than anything, and I wanted to capture the feeling of fall. I wanted to capture, even though it's 100 degrees out, but in October, but I wanted to capture what I love most. So, nothing brings people closer together than going through a wonderfully horrifying experience. So, yeah, this one, the venue itself spoke to me. It's a really cool story. I mean, I know I can share some of it. You can see the synopsis about the story, but I'll give you a brief little tidbit about this. It's centered around this character named Esther Phillips, and she's a collector of these artifacts and these items that house the souls of people that are connected to it. So within the mansion that you explore in this open world concept in the pre and post show that we'll talk about a little later, you're going to be able to hear these characters that Esther is caring for, these different characters and different stories that are housed within these strange artifacts, all culminating and all leading and helping to further color the narrative play. It's, again, extremely haunting. To me, it's this year has to be very, very eerie and very moody and very dark, and that's the vibe for this one for sure. I mean, I go back to Blood Right, 2012, and Mask of Mortality, and that energy and that feel, I can still remember it. Yeah. I'm a fan of this stuff. I want to go back and recreate those plays that we used to do back then. But now with 13th Floor involvement as well too, which they've been, we'll talk about them. They're incredible. So this is all, I really feel like this format of this, and we'll get into it later, the open world and narrative is like the future of this kind of industry, because this has become this was more of a hobby than an industry. When it comes to interactive theater, the smaller, intimate format, everybody loved that. I go in with small groups of like 10 to 11. How cool is that? But at the end of the day, does that actually make money? So art, commerce, that whole thing that I've been balancing forever. 13th Floor is rolling the dice on this. And we have a lot more to come than just Delusion. We're doing a lot more than just that. But we're starting off with Delusion. I'm getting into other questions probably.
Yeah, no, that's good. And the pictures were great. That's the first time I've seen those pictures, and that's really exciting. I'm sure that the other fans watching this are really excited by those. I understand, before we get into more into how the sausage is made, if you will, you brought a goodie tonight to show us, yes?
I brought this is like a talk show. Like, I brought a clip. What's the clip about? I don't know.
You brought a goodie.
That's right. It's me and Harrison Ford. We're like, yes, I brought a goodie. This is you. We have a lot of love for you guys, you and Dave and all your whole crew. So we were like, we got to premiere this trailer. We've put a lot of love into with you guys. So this is the very first viewing ever publicly of the Delusion trailer of Delusion Reaper's Remorse. Very proud of it. I'll do kudos to a bunch of people afterwards, but like every time I watch it, I get excited. If I ever feel down, if I ever like lose my energy, I hit the trailer and then boom, I'm right back in.
Dude, that's so excited. And I know that everybody's like on the edge of their seats right now. So let's just, let's see this thing. David and the team, go ahead and roll that footage and let's take a look at the world premiere of this trailer.
There are some dead that won't let go. They linger, clutching to whatever threads of life they can find.
He's coming, he's coming.
Where do you think toys come from?
I am surrounded by them, haunted by them.
I love you.
I wonder what you taste like.
But soon, with your help, my collection will be complete.
Dude, there are like a million fans out there that just completely lost their shit. That is so good. I'm so excited.
Dude, I just live streamed all over the place.
Dude, that is so great. Man, so I'm pumped. I'm so excited for that. That looks spooky. It looks like it's going to be just what the doctor ordered for this Halloween season and the return of Delusion to Southern California. Now, real quick, obviously Reapers is going to go back to your horror roots and all that. But at the same time, this is a step forward for you career-wise, because as you mentioned before we showed the trailer, you have joined forces with our friends at 13th Floor Entertainment Group. Can you tell us about that and what your role is there now with the team? Yeah.
Chris Stafford, CEO over there, and he and his team have been coming to Delusion for a couple of years now. I don't know how many years, but we've always been teasing. We've been talking back and forth about doing something together. And he's like, "Oh, we're doing the haunted houses," and but he loves what we're doing. And it eventually, over time, over a couple of years, we started thinking about, well, what if I would always present this to him? I'd say, "Look, why don't you guys are Sony and we're Sony Classics, right? So let's focus on starting a new division for 13th Floor. Let's get into the more immersive experience world, which is a big thing now." So he's like he talked to his board, he pushed it hard, and we made it happen. So they brought me on as director of immersive experiences and entertainment, and Delusion is our first production. So from here on, we plan to bring about very unique experiences in the vein of Delusion, but not just Delusion. So I'll be looking at a lot of their different haunted houses around the country, adding on experiences for those, as well as other unique experiences. So it's gonna get busy, and so we're hoping, like, with Delusion this year, it's gonna really explode. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm very excited about it, actually, because 13th Floor. The more I get to know these people, the more they're like quickly family to me. They are. I mean, I'm live here. You feel like you have to. I mean, I genuinely feel like these people have such a big heart for this stuff, and I feed off that energy. And so Chris, Tim, Kelly, and Zach, and all these—they're just mind blowing. I love them, and they've been so supportive, so super supportive. So, you know what's the best part is that I just get paid to do this stuff now. Like,
dude, that's awesome. That's really good. And congratulations to both sides of the playing field on that one, because I think it is a perfect marriage, and I think that it's really going to produce really exciting things across the country. So so congratulations on that. Congratulations on 13th Floor for this meeting of the minds. And it's funny listening to this now, because we're going to indulge personally here for a second. I go way back to the beginning with you, and an ongoing ball busting between the two of us is I've always the haunt thing, right? I'm like, oh, okay, so you're going to do your haunt again this year. You're going to do the haunt, and you've been like freaking adamant for a year. It's not a haunt, Rick. It's not a haunt. It's not a haunt, man. It's not a haunt. So now, Jon, 13th Floor, Jon,
we wave the red flag. Where's a piece of white paper? Here we go. You won, Rick. You won. But people, yes. Yeah, I love you and I hate you.
That's awesome, man.
You're right.
I thought to myself, this is it. So I
knew this was coming. Yep.
Beautiful.
But for half of those people who don't know what this is, it's an interactive play. Okay. It's moving play. And there's some haunt elements to it, of course, too.
It is.
Yes,
yeah, I think that there is. And all joking aside, it's a much different animal than a haunted house or a walk-through maze or an attraction like that. There are haunt elements to it, and there are certainly some brilliant live special effects and some jump scare moments, I'm sure, this year coming. But it's much different than your typical haunt. So I don't want people to think that it's just another haunted house. It's not. It is a haunted play, and it employs really fantastic acting, soundscapes, which are very important. Amazing soundscapes, always amazing lighting, and just really, really all around the perfect evening out. So everybody's going to be very excited to visit you again this year. And I'm sure that people watching have questions. I can't be the only one with questions. So there's other questions coming. So I think the control room is going to send us some questions for Jon.
What are you drinking?
You're drinking the Kool-Aid. I can see that.
Of course. Here, I'm drinking a candle.
Here we go. So is there is there a time period? Girls got a dress for the event. So in the past, some of yours have been set in certain eras. Is there one for Reapers Remorse?
Yes, there is. The 50s, early 50s, 1953. So Girls Got a Dress, and that's a good time for a girl's dress.
All right. Get those poodle skirts ready, right? So is it, let's see.
But let me say something about that real quick.
Yeah.
Like Rick said earlier, this is a physical show. Do not wear any heels. You got to wear comfortable shoes. You're going to be running, crawling, hiding. There's a lot of shit going on. So wear that dress, but don't care if it gets dirty.
Yeah, there's a lot of physical activity usually in the Delusion, and sometimes you choose to do it. Sometimes it ain't your decision. So you're gonna get put in these different situations whether you want to or not. But it's always fun. So Michelle asks, where do we go to find out more about this? I'm not a haunted maze type of person, so this sounds amazing.
Well, this is perfect for you then, Michelle. This is it's not a haunted maze. You go to enterdelusion.com. You can see it right up there on the screen, where you can sign up for early access to it. July 14th, tickets go on sale. So I would highly recommend you get on right after this live stream. And it's a play. If you like theater and you like horror, then come see horror theater.
That's awesome. Do we have any more questions or comments? Control room. Here we go. Abel says, hello, Abel. Abel says, what were your movie/art influences for this season?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I would say Amityville Horror 2 was one of my movie influences. That was a big favorite of mine. The Omen. I'm always into the old school stuff, like all of us probably here. Art influences. It's interesting because this is we're right in the middle of this whole stage where I kind of go back and forth with Kevin Williams, the production designer, and we start bouncing back mood boards back and forth. So the influence comes from him, it comes from me, and I pull various images from. I think it starts off with like the venue, and then Amityville Horror kind of came into my mind, and then that kind of vein was feeding through our process.
Dude, nice. Amityville 2 Electric Boogaloo is so good. I'm glad that you're all about that.
Yeah, there's breakdancing in this one.
Fantastic. So Kate asks, how long is your rehearsal process for a show?
Well, that's actually shorter than you might imagine. We get into it pretty hardcore for about 6 days, 6 to 8 days, where we kind of push people through this experience. It's everybody's got their parts. There's some leads that move through. I don't even like saying leads. Everybody's a strong piece of this puzzle here, but we double cast some roles because they're with the audience longer. So we'll need them for extra days. But overall, we got this kind of process down at this point. So 6 to 8 days is kind of our sweet spot. And
wow.
And we're ready to rock.
That's a lot.
Well, she's asking about the process too. I mean, it starts with, standard audition. I see your face. I feel the energy. If anybody wants to audition for this, like right away, I can kind of feel your energy within the first 3 seconds, or else I'll kind of move on. But if you got that great energy, then we'll get through to the talent. You don't have to be the most talented. You just have to see. I have to see that you're collaborative and you want to play. Because if you want to play, then you can mold with me. And that's what it's all about. People talk a lot about immersive experiences, dealing with the audience. How do you deal with the audience? There's a lot of tricks to that as well too. And I had a former actor named Aaron Lyons who was helping with that. But it's at the end of the day, it's about patience and appreciating people and liking people for the most part. Yeah. But there's a lot more to it. I know we have to get to other questions though too. So,
dude, that's really good though. I'm glad. Oh, look, we have another guest in here.
Hi.
Whoa. Hey, wow. I'm guessing we're going to have a live question.
Yeah, I love Delusion so much. I hacked the system so I could get on and ask a question. I hope that's okay.
Whoa. Hello. Between two friends. We got a fern back there. We got a fern back there between two ferns.
Yeah, so basically, as you guys know, I'm Ashley, work with Midsummer Scream and the Haunt List. And, I've been going to Delusion since his Crimson Queen was when I found out about it. It's probably the most terrifying thing I've ever been to, but also ever since it's been I can't miss it. It's the one thing I tell everybody to go to. So one of the things that I absolutely love about Delusion is just how you really become a character in it versus a walkthrough with other haunts. And so I was curious with if you can say, with the additional stuff that you guys are doing with the VIP experiences and with the open world and such, it sounds like there's additional narratives and, like it mentioned in the press release, like a scavenger hunt element and just extensions of the show. Was that something you came up with because you had more ideas that you just kind of couldn't fit into the show, or was it what's the idea behind that? And is an extension where you're still the character in those aspects, or is it just additional fun stuff to do? Stop me if I'm asking too many questions. I'm just really excited.
No, I'm into this. Go ahead.
I'll stop there.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Well, the venue lends itself to a lot of these things that you're talking about. Every year, and Chris was hitting me on this from 13th floor many times. He's like, every time I come to Delusion, I want more. I'm loving this world I'm in. I want to experience it more. I want to be in it more. And so the idea of our first ever open world concept mixed with a narrative works very well here. story-wise, you are, if you buy a ticket, you've been invited to this exclusive invitation by Esther Phillips, who collects these rare artifacts that house the souls of people within them. She's never had guests there before, and she's gonna unveil her greatest acquisition yet. And she requires you there. You are fellow lovers of the occult. So this whole thing, you're coming to a party at the estate. And you just go down the spiral into this world of hers that is, it's mind-blowing. So the open world, like you were saying, it's we're going to have about, let's say, 10 to 12 mini scavenger hunts. All these things relate to sort of characters that have latched onto these artifacts, like in the synopsis, clutching to threads of life, unwilling to let go, staying in limbo. So you're going to be able to explore at whim these different story threads that loosely connect to the narrative play. So much so that pre and post show, it doesn't matter if you do it pre or post show. You can do, let's say you do 6 story threads before the show, and then you go into your play. You come out, you get a drink, you do another 4. So it's all connected. Everything we're doing is connected. You are playing the part of Esther's guests, but you have a very specific role that you'll learn later. So it's pretty spectacular in terms of the immersiveness of this year's play, especially because this is going to be the first year again where we do a full night out, where we want you to come. If you have a 10 o'clock show, come at 7, come at 7:30, hang out for 2 hours, have food, have drinks, go up to the VIP lounge, which we can talk about in a moment. But and then after your play, hang out for another hour. So if you're making the drive out to Pomona, you should hang out and enjoy the entire story. So this one, out of all the Delusions, this one, you'll be able to really live our world in the most expansive way we've dreamt of.
That's excellent. Jon, dude, who doesn't love the occult? So this is going to be a fantastic night out. Tell us about the VIP lounge, because you know me, I like the VIP lounge.
Yeah. Well, you're always a VIP.
Thank you.
Anytime. All right. That was a little cute moment. So I think we're doing a $30 add-on where it's called Her Private Collection. So Esther has certain exclusive story threads that exist in one level of the mansion. So if you're able to access that, you'll be able to go through and learn more of her the darkest secrets, more of what happened to her past, through her past and her entire life story. Not just her, but like there's a multitude of characters that you'll be interacting with through there's some live characters up there. There's one eccentric, strange resident that lives there as well too. So you'll be able to interact with them, but you'll be able to interact with these artifacts. Let's say there's a candle. And so there's some mystery behind it. It's not just a candle. There's a lot more to it.
Sure.
So you'll be moving through this open world experience, searching through these 3 or 4 different exclusive story threads, perhaps even more. As well, there's the VIP lounge. So that's the dark arts lounge where we have a private bar. And again, that you might come across that strange, eccentric resident. There's a little game room up there as well too. So it's pretty dark and romantic up there and eerie, pretty terrifying. So I would highly recommend people grab those, as many as are available. So yeah, you want to, if you see a stairway in front of you and it goes up to this other level, I want to go. I want to go up it.
Yeah, totally.
And I will say that this stairway, if anybody can make it up this stairway without it creaking, you can have a free ticket.
Wow. That sounds like a challenge.
Everybody's going to freak out about that one, but it's impossible.
You're going to have people like throwing their partners up the stairs so that they don't touch.
Not a guarantee. Not a guarantee. Okay. Anyway.
Dude, this sounds so good and so exciting. So we got to kind of bring this back real quick. Everybody's very excited about this. Everybody I talked to is super stoked about this. Everybody, of course, is going to bum rush the stage and want to hear all about this on the 14th at Awaken the Spirits. this was a comeback to horror in your world. It was the next step for the evolution of Delusion. A lot of reflection, at least on my end and other people that are in the industry. I know a lot of reflection took place while we were all locked down and life kind of came to a close. It was like you just closing your computer. That's it, right? For a year and a half. How did you fare like mentally through it, and how did it change you as a person? Because I firmly believe that nobody going into this is coming out the end of it the same person as we were a year and a half ago. So just a little bit of how that works into you and how you think that affects now your work going forward.
Yeah, it's pretty significant, man. I know you and I actually talked about it. We were on the phone for a little bit about how this has affected us. It's affected me in many ways. We don't have time for all of that, but I think that what it's really shown me is the power of connection. I see that people were desperately trying to connect via Zoom and all the other things and to stay afloat, just to keep your business going. But it was mostly devastating beyond death. Okay, let's put that to the side. That's the most devastating. Beyond that, I think there was something even more terrifying to me, and that was the degradation of our social fabric and our connection. And I would see it through school. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and I'd see, kids being fearful of other people, the complete antithesis to like the Delusion, mission and format, to bring people together. It was so devastating to think, oh my God, we're in the middle of something that works completely against what we're trying to do, like completely devastating this industry. And it's inspiring when I talk to people like you and other people who are just like pushing through, man. We're persevering, and look where we are right now. We're actually like getting out of this. We're actually talking right now about a live theater production of people strangers coming together inside of this creepy mansion and moving through. And I couldn't have thought of this like in the darkest hour last year. And there's obviously a lot of people have been talking about the pent up demand for all this stuff. I'm right there with you. Like whenever I see somebody now, I don't take it for granted. And I think with Delusion, I'm not going to take any of this stuff for granted. Just having people there, having guests come in, and actually you're buying a ticket to my show to come see my show. Like, I love you. Like, you're actually like making an effort to come and connect with other people, to collect with actors live. It means that you want to reconnect. And so I'm inspired by that. I've gone through the roller coaster like a lot of people. I've been fortunate enough to be able to like sustain myself through, good people. But I just want to see you and hug you in person. That's what I want.
Man. Dude, well, thank you for that. And, it's inspirational, right? It's just inspirational that we are obviously not out of the woods yet, but we're getting a lot closer than we were this time last year, for sure. And this is the reason I go back isn't to end things on a downer. It's to actually bring things up because it's so substantial and so important that we are doing these things. And that something like Delusion is coming back to help breathe life back into the Southern California haunt experience and Halloween experience. And I think that is just, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful and it's super emotional. And I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait for the fans to come out and be able to feel normal again. And we get Halloween back this year. And dude, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, man, I feel you. I really feel that.
So excited. I'm so ready for Delusion. Spooky, spooky, spooky candles. Yes. Yes. Oh, hell, yours is real. Mine's just LED.
Wait, turn my light off. There we go. Does that help?
Oh, that's good. No, make it darker. Darker, okay, John. Yeah. More. All the way. All the way. So we can't see you. That's perfect.
There we go.
That's perfect. And then just stay that way. No, you blew it again by coming back into the picture.
Okay, bye.
God. John, thank you so much. On behalf of all the fans, I'm a huge fan. And on behalf of the Midsummer Scream team, dude, we cannot say how happy we are to have Delusion back and to see everything that you're about to unleash on Southern California, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Lots of love to you.
We will see you very soon in person in Pasadena.
All right, man.